Hebrew, and that there is an online Israeli therapy site called Ask Shifra. Its byline reads, "Asking questions and making curious observations." And I would have thought it was my mother if it was not for her total unwillingness to embrace any form of modern technology. I have to say though, having been told by my mother that her biblical name came from being Ruth's handmaiden, I read the whole of Ruth this morning. There's not a single reference to Shifra. But if you go to Exodus 1:15, Mother, and I know you won't accept this, so I bought my Bible from school, still got my prize, the last one I won in it. And it's, she was one of the 2 midwives who were told by the Pharaoh to kill the firstborn. Do you accept that? Oh, you are? Oh, sorry, I thought... Well, the other one, you're quite right, there were 2, and the other one was called Pua, so you did well when your parents chose, didn't you? On behalf of my siblings, our spouses, our many children, I do want to use this occasion to pay particular tribute to my mother. She is the mainstay of our family, and many others. She's the glue that holds everything together, and although she is far from being a stereotypical Jewish mother, she does always put the family and friends first and works tirelessly for our benefit. The family extends far beyond this lot here. We've got Derek and Jesse and Jonah, who is the honorary 11th grandchild but wouldn't wear a t-shirt today. Lewis and Susie from America and their children. Reynolds Close, who I think are all the family. And if you could get them to move, you know, there's a lot of money tied up in that house. It would be appreciated. I thought it was fitting actually having us here today because there are road humps at work in this road. Through relentless cross-examination, phone tapping and a series of informers, my mother always knows what is going on. We have to contact my father by email if we don't want Mum to know anything. For those of you who don't know my mother, she was born Shifra Miller in Nether Edge in Sheffield in 1928. She was evacuated with Derek to Montreal in 1940, where they went with their mother Sophie. They returned in 1943 because unfortunately my grandmother was ill. And both trips, going there and back, were by boat across the Atlantic, which was incredibly dangerous because the Germans were attacking the Atlantic shipping. In fact, Derek told me that the Portuguese ship which brought them back from Lisbon, that was their last voyage because it was sunk on the next trip it made, and that the aircraft that they used was shot down on its previous trip as well. So you might think it's good fortune that my mother's here, but for those of us who've seen my mother's passport photographs, we know that the Germans have seen them and they were too scared to attack. After the war, my mother returned to Montreal to obtain a degree in science at McGill University, and then she returned to Sheffield to work for Hans Krebs, who won the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1953 for his work on... What did he win the Nobel Prize for? Whatever it's called the citric acid cycle. Do you know that? And I looked it all up and it's incomprehensible, so well done. There's probably some typing errors that helped him win it. Sadly, both of my mother's parents died when they were very young. Derek took over the cutlery factory in Sheffield, and if we misbehaved, we were sent there to work during holidays. My mother moved to London and worked at Middlesex Hospital before meeting my father and marrying him in 1956. After having us children, my mother qualified as an English teacher. She specialised in teaching children with reading difficulties and then foreign children who are learning English as a second language. She was responsible for introducing many innovative changes, including taking the children with her while she did her supermarket shopping. She brought about a complete curriculum change at King Alfred's when she moved from Sainsbury's to Tesco in 1985. Sainsbury's have actually never recovered. My mother is extremely fit and energetic, both mentally and physically. Nye, you know she doesn't run at tennis. You must hit the ball towards her. She's the only person who never uses her second serve. She is so consistent, she just grinds you down. She's a strong, independent and very self-sufficient person. She has the most incredible determination and willpower. Her ability to control her diet and refrain from eating even a single roast potato is a source of constant amazement to Mary. Unlike some of her children, and all of my children, she is superbly organised. By lunchtime on Monday, she has usually made dinner for the week, selected a sweater pattern to knit and a victim to knit it for, written out her Tesco and Marks & Spencer shopping lists, sent 3 birthday and 2 good luck cards, circulated 3 of Deborah's articles saying they're the best thing that you'll ever read, booked the theatre and cinema, chosen 3 books to read, completed the Guardian crossword, read the New Yorker, and arranged tennis and bridge for every day that week. As the invitation states, my mother and father make a perfect partnership. Theirs is a very happy marriage from which we have all learnt and benefited.
News to me.
He always does it. My parents only argue over the thermostat setting these days. It was always a pleasure for us to bring friends back to our house, and rather unnervingly, many would visit when we weren't there. My parents have fantastic friends and are actually a far more social life than any of their children. We're lucky actually they're both available to be here today. My parents are even more indulgent grandparents than parents. As the children have said, my mother is responsible for their cultural education, their card and Scrabble playing, their knitwear, and the making of their favourite desserts, and we all want those moulds, Mum, one day. My mother fully deserves her day in the sun today. I have no doubt that, sustained by a certain liquid, she will continue to play a very important role in all of our lives, and to grace the tennis court and bridge table for many, many years to come. So will you join me in a toast to Shifra, the midwife, not Pua, Shifra.